Welcome back, everyone. My name's Wade, this is Bourbon Hall, and on this video we're going to be blinding these 100 proof Brown Forman products, and we're going to see if any of them compare or are better than the 1924. 1924 is the newest release from Olf Forester. It's in the Whiskey Row series. We'll see if it holds up to 115 MSRP. Let's check it out. All right, guys, so this was something that kind of built off of the live stream that I had last week. I tried the 1924. I wasn't overly impressed. I actually tried it against the black cap, and I thought that the black cap was better in that moment. I did release, check that out. I'll put the link up here, just a full review on the 1924. I do feel that I was better the second day I tried it. And then I was kind of challenged to try it against some of the other products that are produced. So I have 1897, it is I guess it's their original recipe from Olf Forester. 100 proof, 1924, it's a 10-year. Olf Forester, it's the newest release. That one is 100 proof as well. These are all 100 proof, I'll quit saying that. Olf Forester 100 proof, and then I have an old Early Times, black cap, bottled and bond, and then the new Early Times, metal cap. And like I said, these are Brown Forman products. This was going to transition. It's owned by Sazerac now, but it's the same juice. This one is considerably better than this one. Found that out in the blind on the live. So what I did is we'll just get these bottles out of the way here, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with this blind. My wife was very nice enough to set this blind up for us. Yeah. So she covered all of these up because I wasn't going to get to them right away. So, you know, let the aromas kind of sit. I can get rid of those. She put a letter on the bottom of all these. For example, A through E, and then wrote down the key and put it in my trusty, you know, black box. So what were we going to do? We're going to nose these and kind of pick it out. And then I'm going to make a few notes and try to figure out which one I think's the best. Right here on this blind. Hopefully the 1924 wins because it's the most expensive. Like I said, MSRP, 115 bucks. The 1897, it is roughly around 50 to 60 bucks. Olf Forester 100, 20 to 30 bucks. And then the Early Time Bottle and Bond, 20 to 30 bucks as well. So let's see if any of those hold up to the 1924. Oh, all right, I'm gonna get these into order. She mixed them all up. E, B, see? This is where I don't have a producer. I do this kind of on the fly because I just have a little bit of time to do these videos from time to time. All right, for you guys, mine is left to right. It'll be right to left for you guys. Sorry about that, but A, E. So let's start with A and get after it. Okay, I'm going to assume that a lot of these have a very similar note to them because they're all kind of from the same juice. Now, I believe that the 1924 does have a slightly different mash bill, but I can't recall that. I don't remember if that's actually true or not. All right. Who are you guys cheering for in the Super Bowl? We're Chiefs fans here. No, we're not batting wagons. I paid my dues in the 90s and early 2000s. Okay. A, it's pretty standard. It's light, caramel. That's about it. A little brown sugar. Well, let's see. I feel like that, I got to be pretty dainty on my sips. She didn't want me to get too crazy on this blind, apparently. You can always tell when someone else is kind of, you know, doing something for you and they're just like, that's enough. I don't think you'll need any more than that. So gosh, that almost had a sweet floral nose to it. I could have tricked myself into that was a different product. Same kind of nose, nothing too special. Let's see, I'm just kind of gonna keep going through here. I'm gonna speed it up and edit because, I assume that some of these are gonna be very similar nose. And if there's something different, I'll slow it down and talk about it. Cheers. All right, this one. This one has much deeper overall nose to it. I wouldn't say that it's oaky, because the first thing I would think of, and I'm not gonna try to pick what product I'm drinking, I'm just gonna go through and do it. But the most oak in this would probably be the 10-year, right? And so that would mean that the youngest barrel that went in there is 10 years old. So I would assume that they'd have more oak than some of the other things that are probably a 4-year product. I get some cereal there, almost like a Life, a little bit of cinnamon and grain. I love Life. My name's not even Mikey, but I like it. Good, all right. That was D. Life cereal. All right, let's get through this. All right, very similar kind of nose right there. I think that it's, there's a little bit of a deep richness to D and E. They're very similar type of products. Obviously, all of these are similar, but I catch a little bit better of a nose off of those two. And I think that they're kind of a deeper, but you still get a little bit of like a cereal note on it. That's what I get this morning. Maybe it's because I missed breakfast. I don't know. So let's start with A. As we do blinds, I'll taste, go through, make my notes, come back. I'm not gonna I'll kind of try to keep you guys in the more important parts of the notes, but I think that me just sitting here sipping whiskeys may or may not be the most exciting thing for a video. So cheers, guys. Number A, letter A. Well, that is an Olf Forester Brown Forman product right there. Deep, rich caramel, and you get a little bit of that barrel char in there. I've always kind of caught that on a lot of the products, especially the 1920. I really enjoy that. It's not quite, the 1910 has a little bit of a campfire. By the way, neither one of those are in here because they're higher than 100 proof, or they're off. So I think that this has a little bit of that caramel and a little bit of that deep, like a deep dried fruit to it. That was way better than the nose. Definitely rich. I already have a guess what that is. Letter B. Let's get it. This was the dainty pour. Cheers. A little bit of honey. Oh, that's a lot sweeter, and that honey kind of transfers over to it. Grain and honey. It's kind of eating like I'm really stuck on the cereals apparently today, but like think of a Honey Nut Cheerio, where you get that kind of sweetness of the honey and then kind of a grain. Let's check this one. Cheers. Yeah, this one is much more complex. It's got a well-rounded flavor to it. It goes into that deep vanilla caramel and a decent amount of oak there. Not quite the oak char that I got from A. And so I feel like I may know what that one is. That one's really delicious as you breathe out. It's almost like if you ate a caramel cupcake and you had a little bit of frosting and you took a bite of that with the vanilla cupcake on top. And yeah, that's exactly what that is, a caramel cupcake. Delicious. All right, D. Cheers. A little spice on the front, and a little bit of grain, and then it mellows out into just a a normal, decent pour. That's actually pretty tasty. I would imagine that that's a younger whiskey. And it's interesting. I think that the 100, I don't know what the year stated on that. And I know the early times are at least, 4 years. And the 1897 is bottled and bond, so that's at least 4 years as well. It just tastes a little bit younger there. Not quite as complex. Last one, E. We'll have that. I'll cleanse the palate. We'll work our way back, and then we'll see which one's the winner. All right. Cheers. Yeah, I would say that a lot of these are pretty comparable in profile. As we would expect, I would say that C is probably the most complex. And this is my first drink of the day. I probably should have had a warm up drink to it. I get almost like a little caramel corn on that one. I do like the finish on that one quite a bit. It's lingering around. It's almost a little bit brighter than like a deep caramel corn. It's almost like a light caramel with a corn extra. I wouldn't actually say that it's eating like caramel corn. It's like two different flavors that kind of go back to back. I was expecting more brown sugar off of the palate. I usually get that. So I would assume that I might get that here once I got my palate kind of warmed up. I'm gonna go cleanse my palate and I'll be back here shortly. What's up everybody? I'm back and let's hit this E to A. Cheers, y'all. I'm gonna try to breeze through these a little bit faster. I'm gonna just zoom through. All right, now we're back. I wanted to stop us here for C. Let's see if I catch anything else on this one because this is most complex. These other two, pretty much the same. I made a few more notes. So interesting. It's got a very common profile on the front of the palate. And then when it hits the back, it definitely provides a little bit more. It's not overly viscous, and I was kind of hoping for a little bit more oils on some of these, especially the black cap. I really enjoy that. But this definitely has the vanilla oak and the enjoyable. I would say this one's probably the top of the list, but we'll kind of see where things land here. Almost like a candy kind of note, a butterscotch, a cheap butterscotch is what I'd say. So, which, as you know, I grew up with a grandma with a candy dish and there was always cheap butterscotch in there, so it's kind of nostalgic. It's not bad. It's kind of funny how different flavors and different profiles connect to your history. Yeah. Last one. Then we're gonna rank these suckers. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I have my list here. I'm gonna, this one first. I'm pretty sure I know what that is and I'm disappointed that I do it, but that's honestly, I'm willing to look like an idiot if you've seen any of my other videos. Yeah, right? So, I'm going to say these two. Let's figure out. Yeah. Gosh, you put those together, they're pretty good. They're probably both early times. It's gonna be one of those things where I'm really disappointed because I want that black cap to do really well. And I already kind of feel like it's not going to be. All right. Now, that was a good sip. You know, a lot of these are really close Very similar products. Wouldn't be surprised if they're, you know, they're cousins. You know what I'm saying? They're cousins. All right. I always say this is final. Obviously, my palate can change from day to day.
You smell something, Rabbit? Fear.
So I said C is number 1. A is number 2. D is 3rd. B 4th. And E 5th. There you have it. Let's figure out what they are. So in 5th place, E is $18.97. All right. B, I switched them. Is Early Times Black Cap.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Yeah, that's disappointing. All right. Darn it. D. Oh. It was Blue Cap. I switched them. Very similar product in this one. I'm gonna have to go back and try it again. A. Old Forester 100. And then the last one. Guys, it wasn't overly that close, to be honest. I will say that I am excited. I'm hoping to have a friend come through, and I want to do the same blind to him and see what his results are. And if I do get to do that, I'm going to put his results up here and just to see what the results are. I'm actually quite disappointed. Maybe it's because I didn't get enough pour in there. God, Black Cap. Okay, Black Cap. I don't want to believe it. My wife obviously messed up. Black Cap is B. I'm just gonna pour a little more. I don't want to believe it. I feel like she messed them up. Either way, this shows that this one, I had that one pegged pretty quick, had this one pegged. I really thought this one was going to be, I thought that was going to be switched. I thought the metal was going to be 5th. 1897, just kind of an odd flavor profile, but they are very close, guys. They are very close. The bottom 3 were kind of hard for me to distinguish at times, which I guess is proof to blending. Yeah, that was good. I don't know. I'm at loss for words. Blinds suck. And sometimes they, prove things you don't want them to prove. Yeah. That Black Cap is really good. If you just give me a little bit more, maybe I can kind of wash my palate with it a little bit. That was the one that I was a little bit scared that I didn't have enough, so I was really dainty with it. And I don't know how you guys drink whiskey, but I kind of like it to wash over my tongue. I don't do quite the gentle sip because I don't get the same kind of complexities. Can't blame her. She was sweet. Wanted more. But I think overall, I think that this and these probably should switch. But in the end, it's close. They were close. Yeah. My notes on D. Very young, grainy. Not my favorite. I should just read my notes, and I went back and I made it hard on myself. On B, honey, cheaper, but okay. Yeah, C, caramel cupcake. Guys, this is pretty good. It is pretty good. I knocked it on the live stream. I know. Now, but I do this kind of stuff to prove it to myself if I'm right or if I'm wrong or if it's just the day. It was just the day. So 1924, pretty solid product. It beats all of these. Now, I will say, $50? No, never again. $20? I bought this for $11, but yeah, that is what it is. $20? Not bad drinkers. Honestly, if you guys get a chance at these, nice. Olf Forester 100 proof? Come on, that was a banger. And I knew what it was right when I tasted that barrel char. That deep richness, almost to a burnt caramel. It's delicious, man. Olf Forester 100 smashes it. This is just more complex, guys, as you would expect with the 10-year bourbon. Yeah, so those results aren't final because I don't like them. But they are final for this blind, and that's what's fun about doing blinds, is because sometimes you look like an idiot, and that's all right. Appreciate you guys watching. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, comment down below. Have you tried these? Have you guys done a blind like this? Let me know if the results were different, because I'm sure they were. Are you disappointed how this went out? Let me know that as well, because I am super disappointed that the black cap didn't at least beat the metal cap. Oh, it is what it is. Read your notes when you're judging. Read your notes. Don't make it just so sporadic. Anyway, appreciate you guys. My name's Wade. This is Bourbon Hall. Until next time, let's drink some pretty solid Brown Forman products, huh? Yeah. Cheers.